So here I'm bringing you this Raw review of August 31st. Hello there, all wrestling fans. And this Raw had a special guest host in the form of the Macadream, Cody Rhodes, who did a good job. I think he's a professional, of course, is a former wrestler, NWA, WCW, WWF. At WrestleMania 6 he competed. I guess he was in WWE late 80s, early 90s. He's been working as a booker in WWE, as a road agent, and he's got his DVD, The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, which he plugged along with DX, and I think these plugs, they still work, but it gave me a little chuckle. But these shameless plugs where they look into the camera and they just shoot off, they are getting a little lame right now. I think they need to do other stuff like they did throughout the night with the Shockmaster crashing through the wall. If you have not seen the Shockmaster parody that they did, it was actually more or less no parody, but you should check out on YouTube the Shockmaster in WCW, because that was a terrible thing. It was unfortunate as well. You should look at that on YouTube, because it seemed like most fans in the arena didn't get what was going on there and then. However, Dusty Rhodes, what role would he play in regards to his son Cody Rhodes in Legacy? We saw Ted DiBiase try to give favors to Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, to his son Ted DiBiase Jr. And indeed, Dusty Rhodes booked a match for Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, a match he portrayed as the fix of the night, where he was gonna have John Cena as a referee, and he was gonna be in Cody Rhodes' corner himself. And well, what happened was he didn't stick to the plan. The fix ended up in Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes and Dusty Rhodes teaming up together to viciously attack John Cena. That all until the Generation X came out, but still Dusty Rhodes and Legacy stood tall along with Randy Orton, who then gave Dusty Rhodes a very unexpected RKO. I will come back to this later. There are so many theories on what's going on in Legacy right now. Other than that, we saw a great match featuring Chris Jericho versus MVP. A real competitive, good match, which sold their tag team match for Breaking Point real well, along with Big Show and Mark Henry. And I really liked this match. It was so unpredictable. Who was going to win? I really rooted for Jericho, as he's one of my favorites. And you never knew who was going to win. I thought MVP was going to take it home with a small package where it countered from the walls of Jericho. That did not happen. And that's why Chris Jericho is such a great wrestler, especially with his new finishing maneuver, the Code Breaker, because he can hit that maneuver from exactly anywhere, which he has proven. So it's a very legible and very credible and a very lethal finishing maneuver that he's got, because he can catch people coming flying off the ropes, he can catch them in a maneuver standing face to face, he can attack them from behind, and he can counter moves. So it's a very effective and very good finisher that Jericho's got in the Code Breaker. Moving on to another topic is the Generation X of the night. They pulled the plugs along with Dusty Rhodes. Didn't have that much of a role actually. They came in towards the end, got laid out, and to me this seemed like they were gonna have Dusty Rhodes and Legacy team up in a 3-on-2 match versus Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes at Breaking Point. We can throw out the theory, of course, there were early theories around SummerSlam somewhere where DX faced Legacy, that after that DX would go on to feud with Hard Dynasty to wrestle them at Breaking Point. That will not happen, of course. There are a lot of theories, especially since they are returning to the Bell Center, or previously known as Molson Center, where the Montreal Screwjob took place. It's the first pay-per-view since then. WWE holds there, and of course Shawn Michaels will be there, and you got the Hart Dynasty, so that started all those theories. But as usual, most theories and rumors on the internet are bullshit. And before going on to these theories along with Legacy, next week we will see the legendary game show host Bob Barker, 85-year-old, as I said in my previous video. He's gonna host next week's Raw. The oldest special guest host so far. He's a credible on TV guy, so he'll do a good job talking. I don't know how much of a wrestling fan he is, but I'm pretty sure that he will do a credible job. He's got the experience of doing things like this, so not in a wrestling world, but leading a show, and he's pretty professional, of course. I mean, 50 years of experience says itself. Moving on now, as I said, there are a lot of theories, and I love when people PM me and talks about wrestling and asks me, what do you think about this wrestler? And what do you think about this wrestler? And what do you think about that match on Raw? Hey, what did you think of the Montreal screw job? Blah blah blah, just chit chat about wrestling. However, people also PM me a lot about rumors coming up, and I like that too, but I would please refrain people from doing that, because this makes me get a lot of PMs about stuff. I mean, there are interesting stuff, but this makes me receive a lot of PMs about stuff that's bullshit. And of course you cannot know that, because I've had my theories that myself that are bullshit, so no disrespect whatsoever. And specifically regarding this thing of what do you think will happen with Legacy right now, I urge people to not PM me about this, because I have received so many PMs and so many theories about what's going to go down, and the fact is we do not know. So keep this discussion about what will happen with Legacy, Randy Orton, Bret DiBiase, Dusty Rhodes, all of this stuff. Keep this discussion and share your thoughts in my video, beneath my video in the comments. Please, because with all the respect, but I mean there are so many theories. I've got the theory that, well, Teddy DiBiase is going to distance himself from Legacy and team up with Bret DiBiase. He's going to get kicked out, team up with Bret DiBiase, and we have the theory that Teddy will be kicked out and Bret will join Legacy instead, so we will have Cody Rhodes and Bret DiBiase teaming up. And I mean that's three different theories. I also heard a theory that someone thought, well, I think that Cody Rhodes and Teddy DiBiase themselves are going to distance themselves from Randy Orton and create a tag team, and Bret DiBiase is going to end up in the middle, or that Teddy DiBiase and Cody Rhodes will distance themselves from Randy Orton and have Bret join them, and they will go right after Orton. I don't know about that, because that will kind of recycle what happened last year when Teddy DiBiase was kicked out. He joined forces with Cody, picked up Manu, and they were going to get Orton, and instead that backfired, so Teddy DiBiase and Cody Rhodes went back to Orton. That would be kind of recycling that feud, as since nothing really came from that feud except for them rejoining Randy Orton. It was very entertaining. That would be, people would really think, well, it's going to happen again. Right now they're just faking that they are going after Orton. So as you see, there are so many storylines, and as you might realize, getting 25 PMs about all these different theories and stories which we know nothing about, interesting, but I mean there are like 200 other theories that could go down. So, but please share this opinion, share this discussion in the video, because it's really interesting. I'm really looking forward to what's going on last week, because what we saw, what it seemed like, was that Cody Rhodes would really have the agenda against Randy Orton right now. But it could also be that Cody Rhodes, and this was just a whole plot in a way around Cody Rhodes telling his father, just like Ted did, thanks but no thanks, because every time it seems like Legacy is going to explode and go under, they just come back as stronger than ever. This has happened a lot of times. So please stay tuned. And regarding Detroit's championship titles, they talked about it on Raw. When was the last time titles changed hands on Raw, the championship titles? Well, I can tell you, the last time the World Championship changed hands in WWE, pay-per-view wise, was at Royal Rumble this year when Edge took the title of Jeff Hardy. The last time, I believe, the WWE title changed hands. No, yeah. I might mix it up. It was a WWE title that changed hands on Royal Rumble right now, with Edge taking off from Jeff Hardy. The World Championship changed hands last time at WrestleMania 23 in Detroit 2007. So there you got that. Be sure to share your comments and opinions and thoughts about what went on Raw this past Monday night, and I will be back with more videos later this week. Take care and have a nice day.